Isaiah chapter 23. The burden of Tyre. Wail, ships of Tarshish, for Tyre is destroyed. There is no house and no harbor. From the land of Cyprus it was revealed to them. Be still, inhabitants of this coastland. You merchants of Sidon, your messengers are crossing the sea. On many waters the grain of Shihor. The harvest of the Nile was her revenue, and a marketplace of nations. Be ashamed, O Sidon. For the sea has spoken, the stronghold of the sea, saying, I have not wreathed or given birth, I have not reared young men or brought up maidens. When the report reaches Egypt, they will be in anguish at the report about Tyre. Cross over to Tarshish, wail, you inhabitants of the island. Is this your jubilant city, whose antiquity is from long ago, whose feet have taken her to settle in far-off lands, who planned this against Tyre, the crowning city, whose merchants were princes, whose traders were the honored of earth? Adonai Tzavaot has planned it, to defile the pride of all glory, to shame all the honored of the earth. Overflow through your land like the Nile, O daughter of Tarshish. There's no restraint anymore. His hand has stretched out over the sea. He has shaken the kingdoms. Adonai has given a commandment concerning Canaan, to destroy its strongholds. He said, you will exult no more, O crushed virgin, daughter of Sidon. Arise, cross over the Cyprus. Even there you will have no rest. Look, the land of the Chaldeans, this is the people who no longer exist. Assyria set it up for desert animals. They set up their siege towers. They stripped its palaces. They made it a ruin. Wail, you ships of Tarshish, for your stronghold is destroyed. Then it will come about in that day that Tyre will be forgotten for 70 years, like the days of one king. At the end of 70 years, it will happen to Tyre just as in the song of the prostitute. Take a harp, stroll about the city, forgotten harlot, skillfully play many songs, so you may be remembered. Then it will come about after the end of 70 years that Adonai will take note of Tyre. She will return to her trade and will prostitute herself with all the kingdoms of the world on the face of the earth. Yet her profit and her wages will be set apart to Adonai. They will not be stored up or hoarded, for her profit will be for those who dwell in the presence of Adonai, as ample food and as fine clothing. Chapter 24. Behold, Adonai makes the land empty and makes it waste, twists its face and scatters its inhabitants. So it will be, as with the people, so with the Kohen, as with a servant, so with his master, as with a maid, so with his mistress, as with a buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, as with a creditor, so with the debtor. The land will be utterly emptied and totally plundered, for Adonai has spoken this word. The land faints and fades away, the world wilts and fades away, the exalted people of the earth will wilt. The land is polluted by its inhabitants, for they have transgressed Torah, violated statutes, and broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore a curse will devour the land. Those dwelling there are found guilty. Therefore the inhabitants of the land will be burned up, so the people remaining are few. The new wine fails, the vine wilts, all the merry-hearted sigh. The glee of tambourines stops, the noise of revelers ends. The joy of the harp ceases. They no longer drink wine with song. Liquor is bitter to those drinking it. The shattered city is in chaos. Every house is shut up, none may enter. In the streets is an outcry for wine. All joy becomes dark as evening. The mirth of the land is banished. The city is left in ruins. The gate is battered down. So will it be in the earth and among the nations. So when shaking an olive tree, or as when gleanings are left after the grape harvest, they will raise their voices. They will sing for joy of the majesty of Adonai. They shout from the sea. Therefore glorify Adonai in the east. the name of Adonai, the God of Israel, in the isles of the sea. From the ends of the earth we have heard songs, glory to the righteous. But I say, I waste away, I waste away. Oi to me, traitors betray, with treachery traitors betray. Panic, pit, and trap are upon you, O inhabitants of the earth. And it shall come to pass, whoever flees from the sound of panic will fall into the pit, and whoever climbs up out of the pit will be caught in the trap. For the windows of heaven are opened, and the foundations of the earth shake. The earth is broken apart, the earth is split open, the earth is shaken utterly. The earth reels to and fro like a drunk, and sways like a hut. Its transgression is so heavy upon it that it will fall and never rise again. It will come about in that day, Adonai will punish the host of heaven on high, and the kings of the earth on the earth. They will be gathered together like prisoners in the pit, and will be shut up in the prison, and after many days be punished. Then the moon will be abashed, and the sun ashamed, for Adonai Tzavaot will reign on Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, and before his elders gloriously. Chapter 25. Adonai, you are my God. I will exalt you. I will praise your name, for you have done wonderful things, plans of old with steadfast faithfulness. For you have made a city into a heap, a fortified city into a ruin, a foreigner's palace, a city no more, never to be built. Therefore, a strong people will honor you. Cities of ruthless nations will fear you. For you have been a stronghold for the poor, a stronghold for the needy in distress, a refuge from the rainstorm, a shade from the heat. For the breath of the ruthless is like a storm against the wall. Like heat in a dry place, you subdue the roar of foreigners. Like heat in the shade of a cloud, the song of tyrants is brought low. On this mountain, Adonai Tzavaot will prepare a lavish banquet for all people, a banquet of aged wine, of rich food, of choice marrow, of aged wine well refined. On this mountain he will swallow up the shroud that enfolds all peoples, the veil spread over all the nations. He will swallow up death forever. My Lord Adonai will wipe away tears from every face. He will remove his people's reproach from all the earth, for Adonai has spoken. It will be said in that day, behold, this is our God. We waited for him. He will save us. This is Adonai. We waited for him. We will rejoice and be glad in his salvation. For the hand of Adonai will rest on this mountain. Moab will be trampled under him, as straw is trampled in a manure pile, when he spreads his hand in it, as a swimmer spreads his hands to swim. His pride will be brought down low together with the trickery of his hands. He will level your high fortified walls, lay them low, and cast them down to the ground, down to dust. Chapter 26. In that day, this song will be sung in the land of Judah. We have a strong city. He appoints salvation as its walls and ramparts open the gates. Let the righteous nation enter, one that keeps faith. You keep in perfect peace one whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you. Trust in Adonai forever, for the Lord Adonai is a rock of ages. For he humbles those dwelling on high, leveling the lofty city, leveling it to the ground, bringing it down to dust. Feet will trample it down, feet of the afflicted, the footsteps of the poor. The way of the righteous is straight. Upright one, you make smooth the path of the righteous. Yes, in the way of your judgments, Adonai, we have waited for you. Your name and your remembrance are the desire of our soul. My soul longs for you at night. Yes, my spirit within me seeks you. For when your judgments are in the earth, the inhabitants of the world learn righteousness. Though grace is shown to the wicked, he does not learn righteousness. Even in a land of uprightness, he will act wrongly, not perceiving the majesty of Adonai. Adonai, your hand is lifted up, yet they do not see it. They will see your zeal for the people and be put to shame. Yes, fire will devour your enemies. Adonai, you will establish shalom for us, for all our works you have done for us. Adonai Eloheinu, other lords beside you have had dominion over us, but we remember your name alone. The dead do not live, dead souls do not rise. Thus you punished and destroyed them and wiped out all memory of them. You have increased the nation, Adonai. You have increased the nation. You are glorified as you have expanded all the borders of the land. Adonai, they sought you in distress. They poured out a whispered prayer when your discipline was upon them. As a pregnant woman about to give birth reads and cries out in her pain, so we were before you, Adonai. We have been with child, we have been in pain, yet we gave birth to wind. We are accomplishing no deliverance for the earth, nor are inhabitants of the world coming to life. Yet it will be, your dead will live, your corpse will rise. Awake and shout for joy, you who dwell in the dust. Your dew is like the dew of the dawn. The land of dead souls will come to life. Go, my people, enter your rooms and shut your doors behind you. Hide for a little while until the wrath is past. For behold, Adonai is coming out from his place to punish inhabitants of the earth for iniquity. The earth will disclose her bloodshed, no longer covering up her slain. Chapter 27. In that day, Adonai will punish Leviathan, the fleeting serpent, with his fierce, great, strong sword. Leviathan, the twisted serpent, he will slay the dragon in the sea. In that day, sing to her a vineyard of delight. I, Adonai, watch over it. I water it every moment. I guard it day and night, so that no one may harm it. It is not that I have wrath. Who would give me thorns and thistles? Into battle I would march against them. I would burn them up altogether. Rather, let them rely on my strength. Let them make peace with me. Make peace with me. In days to come, Jacob will take root. Israel will blossom and bud and fill the face of the world with fruit. Did he strike Israel as he struck those who struck them? Or were they slain as their slayers were slain? You contended with her by banishing her, by driving her away. With his fierce wind he expelled them on the day of the east wind. So by this will Jacob's sin be atoned, and this the full price to remove his sin, when he makes all the altar stones like shattered chalk stones, so that the Asherah poles and incense rise no more. The fortified city is a lonely habitation, forlorn and forsaken like the desert. There the calf will graze, there lie down and consume its branches. When the boughs are withered, they will be broken off. Women, come and set them on fire, for it is a people of no understanding. Therefore their Maker will show them no mercy. He who formed them will give them no grace. It will come about in that day, Adonai will thresh from the channel of the river to the wadi of Egypt, and you will be gathered one by one, Bnei Israel. It will also come about in that day, a great shofar will be blown. Those perishing in the land of Assyria and the exiles in the land of Egypt will come and worship Adonai on the holy mountain in Israel, in Jerusalem. Chapter 28. Oi, the proud crown of Ephraim's trunks, its glorious beauty is a fading flower, which is at the head of the fertile valleys of those overcome with wine. Behold, Adonai is strong and mighty, like a hailstorm, a destructive tempest, like a downpour of overflowing water. He hurls it down to the earth with his hand. The proud crown of Ephraim's trunks will be trampled underfoot. The glorious beauty is a fading flower, which is at the head of the fertile valley, like a first ripe fig before summer. Whoever sees it swallows it up while it is still in his palm. In that day, Adonai Sabaoth will be a crown of glory, a diadem of beauty to the remnant of his people, a spirit of judgment for him who sits on the judgment seat, and strength for those turning back the battle at the gate. But these also reel from wine and stagger from strong drink, and the Kohen and the prophet reel from strong drink, are confused because of wine. They stagger because of strong drink. They are muddled in vision. They stumble in judgment, since all the tables are full of the filth of vomit. No place is left. To whom will he teach knowledge? To whom will he explain the message? Those just weaned from milk, those just taken from the breast, for it must be precepts upon precepts, precepts upon precepts, line upon line, line upon line, here a little, there a little. For through stammering lips and for foreign tongue he will speak to this people, to whom he said, here is rest, give rest to the weary, here is repose. But they would not listen. So the word of Adonai is to them precepts on precepts, line upon line, here a little, there a little. So they walk and fall backward and are broken, trapped, and captured. Therefore, hear the word of Adonai, you scoffers, who rule this people who are in Jerusalem. Because you have said, we cut a covenant with death, we made a pact with Sheol. So when the overflowing scourge passes through, it won't come for us, for we have made lies our refuge and hid ourselves in falsehood. Therefore, thus says Adonai Elohim, behold, I am laying in Zion a stone, a tested stone, a costly cornerstone, a firm foundation. Whoever trusts will not flee in haste, but I will make justice the measuring line and righteousness the plumb line. Hail will sweep away the refuge of lies, and water will overflow the hiding place. Your covenant with death is annulled, and your pact with Sheol will not stand. An overflowing scourge will pass through, and you will be its trampling place. As often as it passes through, it will seize you, morning by morning, by day and by night passing through. It will be sheer terror to understand the message. Far too short is the bed to stretch on, too narrow the blanket to wrap up in. For Adonai will rise up as at Mount Perazim. He will quake with awe as at the valley of Gibeon, to do his deed, his strange deed, and to work his work, his extraordinary work. So now stop your scoffing, lest your shackles be strengthened. For I have heard from Adonai Elohei Sabaoth of destruction determined upon the whole land. Give ear and hear my voice. Pay attention and hear my words. Does a plowman plow all day to sow the seed? Does he continually break open and harrow his ground? No, when he has leveled its surface, he scatters dill and sows cumin, plants wheat and rows, places barley and rye on its border. For his God teaches him judgment, instructing him. For dill is not threshed with a sledge, nor is a cartwheel rolled over cumin. Rather, dill is beaten out with a staff, and cumin with a rod. Bread grain is crushed, but not endlessly. Rumbling cartwheels and horses over it would only crush it to powder. This also comes from Adonai Tzavaot. Wonderful is his counsel, great is his wisdom.